Hey everyone, thanks for coming back and joining me again this week. It's Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024, and this is Upon Further Review with Sean Tomlin. Thanks for joining me once again. I'll say that once more. This is going to be our Week 4 edition. We're going to do all the breakdowns and everything right now for all the matches that happened this past week. We'll start off with Thursday Night Football. The Cowboys beat the Giants in a 20-16 game. The Cowboys looked pretty strong in the game, but overall, there's some things to fix for them. I think it wasn't the greatest. I thought they would have blown out the Giants, considering they're Giants. Giants actually did put up somewhat of a good match, but then again, it wasn't that great. We'll move on to Sunday's action, and we'll start off with the Colts beating the Steelers, 27-24. Game seemed a little bit closer than the game seems closer by the score than it actually was. It was a 17-point deficit by halftime. They kind of just crawled their way back. We ended up getting it to 24 with a late touchdown, but weren't able to do much more than that. Big notes, I guess, in the game is Michael Pittman started to be Michael Pittman again, and unfortunately, Anthony Richardson went out with an injury. It was believed to be a hip injury. He's looking day-to-day, but more than likely he's going to be fine. It didn't really look that bad. I think it was more of a precautionary thing that they took him out. Next, we had the Falcons beating the Saints 26-24 with a game-winning field goal by Cho. I can't remember his name. But it was a good performance by both teams. I had the Saints winning in that game, and well, I was wrong with that one. Next, we had the Bengals beating the Panthers 34-24. Kind of saw that one coming. I picked the Panthers to win because they've been doing so bad, and they had won the week before. You know, it's the Panthers. I should have known better. The Bears beat the Rams 24-18. It was a pretty entertaining matchup. It was good to see the Bears be fairly efficient with Caleb Williams. Next, we had the Vikings beat the Packers in a 31-29 matchup. The Vikes did pretty good. They've been looking pretty dominant. They're undefeated this year. Like I said, Sam Darnold's been doing awesome. I've talked about in the last 2 episodes. And once again, he proved he is... It wasn't so much him being on a team, him being bad. It was the team he was on that was bad. And now you see him on like an actual team with actual weapons and actual schemes, and look what he's doing. So maybe he actually was a good pick, but he was on the Jets, right? So you can never really tell. Well, then we had the Texans beat the Jags 24-20. It sounds like a close match, but really wasn't, and the Jigs are just trash right now. They're 0-4. The Broncos beat the Jets 10-9, winning by a missed field goal by the Jets. So is it really a win for them? Theoretically, yeah. But they could have easily lost that game, although their defense has been looking pretty stout lately. The Bucks beat the Eagles 33-16. That one was a shocker. The Eagles are just getting completely shut down on offense until they picked up it a little bit in the second half. The Commanders destroyed the Cards 42-14. Jalen Daniels, he's looking like one heck of a quarterback. 49ers beat the Pats 30-13. Saw that one coming. 49ers are just a really good team all around, and the Pats are not. And I hate them. So you can take that any which way you want. Sorry, I'm dealing with a little bit of a cold, so bear with me on this. The Raiders beat the Browns 20-16. It was an alright matchup, but now with Devontae Adams wanting out there, we'll see what happens. Although it's not like he was responsible for the victory or anything like that. The Chiefs beat the Chargers 17-10. Kareem Hunt started to make a comeback in that one, and maybe he's going to be their lead back going forward. Then we had Sunday Night Football. The Ravens beat the Bills 35-10. They just completely destroyed them. I think Derrick Henry was like 1 yard shy of 200 yards. Awesome night for him. Then we went over to Monday Night Football, another doubleheader, with the Titans beating the Dolphins, 31-12. The Dolphins just looked horrible again. Then we had the Lions beating the Seahawks, 42-29, the other game that night. So those are all the matches that happened this past week and their outcomes. For picking last week, I made my picks. I was 9-7 on those picks. This week we're going to do it again. So we're going to start off with Thursday Night Football, which is going to be the Bucks versus the Falcons. Probably going to go the Bucks in that one. They've been pretty good. Another quarterback on a bad team to start off his career. Baker Mayfield now doing good with the new team. He's looking pretty unstoppable right now. Then we got Sunday's matchups. We have the Colts versus the Jags. The Colts, I got them winning that one. Then we got the Jets versus the Vikes. I got the Vikes winning in that one. Panthers versus Bears. Got to take the Bears. Ravens versus Bengals. Going Ravens on that one. Bills going up against the Texans. I'm going to take the Bills on that. Dolphins versus the Patriots. That's a tough one because the Patriots suck. And the Dolphins aren't looking very good either. But I'm going to go Dolphins. I think they're going to have a good game. I think it's just going to take a little bit of time with Tyler Huntley, but maybe he'll be the guy to finally get Tyreek going and the rest of that offense. Then I got the Browns and the Commanders. I'm going to take the Commanders to win there. Raiders versus the Broncos. I think I'm going to go Broncos on that one. I just got a feeling on that one. Although later in the year, I hope it's the Raiders. Then we got the Cards versus the 49ers. I'm going to go 49ers in that one. Not seeing enough out of the Cardinals to think that they'd be able to stop them right now. The Packers versus the Rams. Going to go Packers on that one for sure because the Rams are just dysfunctional right now. And then we got the Seahawks versus the Giants. I'm going to take the Seahawks. Monday Night Football, we got the Saints versus the Chiefs. And I'm going to go Saints on that one because I think they're going to be a good team down the stretch and all year long. Alrighty. So, we're going to go with our top threes for the week. Our top threes at all positions. Quarterbacks was Jordan Love with 40-plus points. Baker Mayfield with 33-plus points. I was talking about him before. And Jared Goff with 32-plus points. So all good looking there. Nice to see Jordan Love back in the field, of course. Running backs, we had Derrick Henry with 36-plus points. Walker with 33-plus points for the Seahawks. And DeAndre Swift with 29-plus points. So those were all good performances. I kind of saw Henry being the number one after the game he had. Wide receivers, we had Collins with 34-plus points. And Jalen Reed with 28-plus points. He was looking pretty dominant in the game I saw. And Wicks also was looking pretty good. He had 24-plus points to round out the top three on those guys. For tight ends, we had Kraft from the Green Bay Packers, 17-plus points. Freiermuth, 16-plus. And Travis Kelce coming back to relevance this week with 15-plus. And then our top three defenses were the 49ers defense with 41-plus, Browns defense with 28-plus, and the Bucks defense with 28 points. So it was good to see some of those guys coming back that have had bad couple of weeks so far in the beginning of this fantasy season to start producing for guys. Unfortunately, they started producing against me. And so we'll go to our top 5 waiver pickups of the week. I'm going to say Joe Flacco, quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. If Anthony Richardson's going to be going out, he's going to be a really good option if you're looking for a quarterback. DeAndre Swift, if you are looking for a running back right now, DeAndre Swift is the one you want to get, I think. Also, wide receiver Josh Downs is really started to turn it around for the Colts. He holds, I think it was 77% share of the targets going his way out of all the wide receivers on the team. So, second game back for him, and that's looking pretty promising. And he's in quite a bit of leagues. Well, He is in our league too, and maybe you should go get him. Auten, the tight end from the Buccaneers, with Mayfield thrown to him, I think he's going to be a really good option at tight end if you need one. And Leggett, he was another guy I said last week that you should be getting, and he proved this weekend why you should be picking him up. Even if you got a place to stash him on your bench, I think you got to get him. All right, my top 5 starts for the week in fantasy would be Derrick Henry at running back, because he's been doing awesome. Joe Flacco, if he's playing, I think you got to get him in against the Jags. That's going to be a really good matchup for quarterbacks, especially with his weapons. It's going to be a good game, I think. DK Metcalf against the Giants. That's going to be a good one you're going to want to get in. If you have Flacco and you have Josh Downs, throw them in together because I think that's going to be a good one right there. And Justin Jefferson, I think that's also going to be a good one. And I would say the Bears. Anybody on them? Any of their top stars? Swift, Mooney, just really anybody you can think of to get from the Bears might be a really good option this weekend. Komet with the tight end, it could be a really good game for the Bears, fantasy points wise. So if you can, get somebody from the Bears into your lineup. All right, we'll move over and we'll talk a little bit about the league Clusterfuck 2, the league that we're in. Our Week 4 matchup recap. So we'll start off with the Monty Lake Colts losing to Simon's team, the Mark Davis Bullcut. Obviously, the Monty Lake Colts are my team. If you couldn't guess, I love the Colts. So having that name kind of signifies whose team it is, but anyways, I lost 135.05 to 87.60. Simon's team was led by Baker Mayfield with 33 plus points, one of the top performers at quarterback for this week, and Jordan Mason with 25 points. My team was led by Xavier Worthy with 17 plus points, and George Kittle with 14 plus. Then we had G-Spot Graham's team beat Pass the Dutch Dan's team 192.45 to 79.90. That is a rough one, Dan. Losing by over 100 points, that's gotta hurt. Hopefully pick it up next week, and it won't hurt so bad the next time. Dan, your team was led by Johnson with 21 plus points, and Bijan Robinson with 11 plus. Graham, your team was led by Derrick Henry, of course, with 36 plus points, and the Browns defense with 28 plus. Good pickup on defense for that weekend. Then we had Andy Reid Anal-Bead Lawson's team beat Tropic Thunder Les's team 153.90 to 124.85. Lawson, your team was led by Neighbors, 24 plus points, which might be the fantasy football rookie of the year, considering how awesome he's been. And Elvin Kamara, 24 plus points. Les, you were led by CJ Stroud with 28 plus points, and Justice Hill with 21 plus points. So it's looking like anybody who's running for the Ravens is just getting a ton of points this year. Then we had Golf is Better, Caden's team, beating the GB Packers, Shane's team, 38.50 to 125.75. Shane, your team was led by the Saints defense with 23 plus points, and Justin Jefferson with 20 plus points. So that was a pretty good showing right there. Pretty tight matchup. Unfortunately, you couldn't come away with the win this time. Caden, you were led by Nico Collins with 34 plus points, and Joe Burrow, 23 plus points. So good starts there. Then we had Nathan's team, Billy Bob Jr., beating up on Ty's team, Protect Your Holes, 149.85 to 145. Very close. I think that actually was the tightest matchup in the week. So awesome pickings for you guys. You had Sam Darnold, 26 plus points. See somebody's picking him up and playing him. Almost like somebody told you to do it. No. And then St. Brown with 22 plus points. Then Nathan, your team was led by the 49ers defense with 41 plus points. And Dak Prescott, 22 plus points. All right, so that was the recap of last week. Now we'll go into the the look ahead at the matchups that are going to be coming for Week 5 in our league. We're going to have my team going up against Ty's team. We're both sitting at 1-3, so it's going to be a great game to look at. Obviously, me and Ty are in the same division, so really, stand-ins-wise, it'll just move us 1 point or the other. Unless Les were to get a win. And Les, you're at 0-4 going up against Graham's team. That's 3-1. So that's going to be a tough test for you right there. You haven't had the greatest season so far, but maybe you'll be able to turn this around. And if you can't, maybe a first overall pick next year. First round there, bud. Next, we've got Shane's team going up against Simon's team. Simon's sitting at 1-3. Shane's sitting at 2-2. Then we got Caden's team, 4-0, going up against Dan's team, 2-2. Then we got Nathan's team, 3-1, going up against Lawson's team, 3-1. So, not so much for the standings right now. Caden's going to see if he can keep his undefeated streak going. Les is going to see if he can get a win. Basically, besides that, it's just everyone's kind of mashed in there in the middle. So, it's going to be good to see that start moving around. Probably around like week 6 or 7, we'll start to see, some actual differences in the standings. See where people are looking at being. Remember, this year for the playoffs, it's the top 4 teams in each division that'll be going off to the playoffs. So keep that in mind. Don't look on the app. The app doesn't make any sense for that because it doesn't want to. All right. We're going to go to our final thoughts in our Goal to Go segment, and this is going to finish off the show. It was reported that Christian McCaffrey has tendinitis in both ankles now, so that's great if you have him or you drafted him. Yay! Caden, somebody else picking your team? 4-0, man. Didn't see that coming from you. I'm just kidding with you. It was actually a really good week in football overall. A lot of great matchups. I was especially happy to see the Colts, beat the Steelers that day. I got a friend that likes the Steelers, and they were not happy. So let's just say it was nice to see the Colts get over them. I got another friend, he's a Cowboys fan. He was pretty happy to see them beat the Giants. Obviously, somebody in their division. Always got to be happy about that. The finish to that Falcons and Saints game was awesome. I really didn't see the Jets losing that game, but apparently the Broncos defense is just that good. It's really hard to say on that Raiders-Broncos game coming up this weekend. Who's really going to win on that one? Who's going to take control? The Raiders obviously have their problems on offense, but the Broncos have been looking really good on defense. So if they can keep that going, that might be the match to watch this weekend. Might be really tightly contested, might be something you really want to see. Besides that, guys, nothing left for the day. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for joining me once again. If you like what you saw, like the post, the video there, and remember to hit subscribe so you can get updated whenever any video gets uploaded. And once we get to 50 subscribers, we'll be able to go live. Well, thank you, everyone. Have yourself a good night, and talk to you later. And I'll be back here next week to break down everything you need to know.